Recently, China has made massive strides in the renewable energy industry. For example, it is estimated that in 2015, China constructed one new wind turbine every day and enough solar panels to cover the area of an entire soccer field every hour. But how have these developments affected daily life and culture in Chinese cities? During my stay in China for 4 weeks this summer, I experienced life in Beijing, Hangzhou, and Shanghai. These are some of the smaller, everyday innovations that demonstrate how people's lifestyles are impacted by China's recent advancements in green energy, and how Chinese people are making deliberate efforts to live a more sustainable lifestyle. In both China and the US, transportation is an integral part of life for people living in urban areas. Like the US, China's cities' streets are filled with traditional cars and buses that run on gasoline. However, Chinese citizens also use greener alternatives to vehicles that run on fossil fuels. Many large Chinese cities, including Beijing, Hangzhou, and Shanghai, have dockless bike sharing systems. Bikes can be found all over the city, and anyone with a smartphone can download an app that allows one to unlock a bike and use it for 1 yuan, or about 15 cents per hour. Dockless bikes are incredibly convenient because they can be left anywhere in the city after use. Therefore, people can use them without needing to worry about returning them to their original locations. Ofo, one of the main companies providing this dockless bike sharing service in China, has made over $2 billion since the company started only 2 years ago. Ofo bikes, known in China as Xiao Huang Che, or Little Yellow Bike, can now be found in over 50 Chinese cities. In the US, some cities have similar bike sharing systems. However, in most US bike sharing systems, bikes must be returned to designated bike racks that are sparsely scattered throughout the city after use, making them much less convenient to use. In addition, it is much more expensive to use shared bikes in the US. Prices start at $8 and can be as high as $25 depending on the amount of time it is used. Due to the success of dockless bike sharing systems in China, some US cities such as Seattle and San Francisco are also beginning to implement this method of green transportation. Another method of green transportation in Chinese cities is the electric bus. This works in a similar way to any other public bus, except that electric buses have reduced carbon emissions and are much quieter than normal buses. While electric buses have already been integrated into normal bus routes, local governments in Beijing, Hangzhou, and Shanghai, as well as other cities, aim to continue growing the number of electric buses in use. For example, Beijing currently has around 1,000 electric buses in use, but aims to increase this number to 10,000 by 2020. In the United States, most cities' public bus systems use buses that run on diesel, natural gas, or a hybrid of the two. Many Chinese homes and buildings also utilize various forms of green energy. One of the most prevalent examples of this is the solar water heater. In large cities where virtually everyone lives in apartments, many people use solar water heaters as a cost-effective way to get access to hot water, as solar water heaters are often sold for as little as $300. Once purchased, there are very minimal additional costs, as everyone has free access to the energy provided by the sun. These solar water heaters raise the standard of living for many people in Chinese cities without producing carbon emissions that pollute the environment. By contrast, water heaters in the US are commonly powered by natural gas or electricity. In the US, these options are much cheaper than solar water heaters, but release more polluting carbon emissions. China is now the world's largest investor in domestic renewable energy. In fact, the government recently announced a plan to invest the equivalent of $360 billion on developing renewable energy by 2020. So what does the future look like? The lifestyles of Chinese city dwellers are not perfectly green by any means, but there are some useful innovations that I believe the US could learn from. Researchers and experts in both countries are currently developing exciting new ideas in the field of clean energy. But one thing is for sure, we will be faster on our way to a greener world if we can work together and learn from each other.